Hello everyone, this week's pre-Shabbos video Dvar Torah is sponsored by the anonymous sponsor Yechi Reuven, sponsored in honor of Shabbos Mevarchim Rosh Chodesh Sivan. Rosh Chodesh is this coming week and looking forward to Shavuos, and also sponsored with brachos for Hasaras Magefa Zu Me'aleinu, that Hashem should remove the pandemic from the world. The first of the two parshas that we'll read this Shabbos, Behar, opens with the mitzvah of Shemita. And we'll all be hearing more about the mitzvah of Shemita because this coming Rosh Hashanah, this fall, will be the beginning of the next Shemita year. But it occurred to me that perhaps Shemita is a way to think about this past year plus, the year of the pandemic, which we have not yet fully left yet. Let me explain what I mean. The Parsha, the Torah, refers to Shemita in two ways. On the one hand, it says, V'shavta ha'aretz, the land will rest, is forbidden to work the land in the seventh Shemitah year. Shabbat la Hashem. Yeh la'aretz, Shabbat la Hashem. It is a Sabbath for Hashem, devoted to Hashem. And yet, just a pasuk or two later, the Torah seems to use the opposite formulation. V'hayita Shabbat ha'aretz lachem. It shall be a year of fallow, lachem, for you. It is both La Hashem, and it is also Lachem. And the reason is that there are two aspects to the Shemitah year parallel to the two aspects of Shabbos. Shemitah is referred to as Shabbos. On the one hand, for an entire year, the Jewish people were asked to not work the land, which was an incredible challenge of faith. To see your land lay fallow, to not plant, to not harvest, to worry that you won't have enough food. And it was a challenge to the faith, and it was an exercise for them to increase their emunah. And the point of the year, like Shabbos, was to recognize that Hashem is the creator. Hashem owns the world, as we refer to and explain to Shabbos in the first of the Seres HaDibros, the first set in the book of Shmos. Ki sheishes yomim asa Hashem et hashemayim v'et haaretz. That Hashem is the creator. Shemitah, for an entire year, the Jewish people would step back and relinquish their rights to the land and give it back to Hashem. And in so doing, they would strengthen their faith in Hashem, that Hashem would take care of them. They would step back from physical, earthly pursuits. They would have more time for spiritual pursuits, to study Torah, to involve themselves in spiritual activities. And it was hopefully a year to spiritually recharge, to connect to Hashem, to have more time to be devoted to Torah and spiritual pursuits. But at the same time, there was another lesson, another feeling that Shemitah was meant to inculcate in the people. V'hayita Shabbat ha'aretz lachem la'achla, and the land will rest, and for you to eat. Whatever will grow naturally will go wild. Fruit of the trees, grains that grow naturally grow wild. You can eat. Lecha u'lavdecha v'lamatecha. You, your male and your female servants, those dwelling with you, workers, even to the animals. Shemitah leveled, equal the playing field. Everyone was equal. There was no more economic competition. Everyone's fields were declared hefker, ownerless. I could go into your field, you could go into my orchard. It was a way of having this incredible shared national experience, yes, shared challenge to some degree. And it reminded everyone that we're all more or less the same. We're all the children of Hashem. And this too, parallel to Shabbos. Shabbos is meant to do the same. The second set of the Seres HaDibrot says the point of Shabbos is not to remember that God is the creator, but L'man yanuach avdecha v'amascha kamocha, that your servant should have a day of rest like you. That you should remember we're all fundamentally equal, we're all fundamentally human beings. And these were the two experiences that Shemitah was meant to bring to the Jewish people. On the one hand, a year of spirituality, a year of stopping certain physical or earthly pursuits, a year to have more time to study Torah, to challenge and strengthen our faith in Hashem, and to grow in our connection to Hashem. At the same time, a year to strengthen the bonds between people, to remind everyone that we're all equal, we all have the same shared dignity, to remove some of the competitive forces that separate people. And hopefully after the Shemitah year, the people were stronger. Again, they're stronger spiritually, their cohesion between each other were stronger. And that is why after the Shemitah year, the Torah says, Miketz Shnas HaShemitah, in Parshat Vayelech, and after, at the end of the Shemitah year, there was the mitzvah of Hakel. That was the time, the Sukkot, immediately after Shemitah, that everyone would gather together in incredible crowds in Yerushalayim and hear the Torah read by the king, because it was after Shemitah. Shemitah was the year that prepared the people to join as a nation, to be ready to hear the words of the Torah as if they're standing at Har Sinai again. Shemitah was the year that got them ready, that strengthened them for Hakel. I remember the very beginning of the pandemic, in the first month or two, I think it was a pre-Shabbos concert, I think by Shlomo Katz, maybe it was his brother, and he remarked, which struck me and I still remember it, he remarked that, he's saying now in the pandemic, it's like every day is Shabbos. And then he said, well, every day is either Shabbos or Chol HaMoed Shabbos. I mean, even the week was like Chol HaMoed Shabbos. You stayed home, you didn't really work the same way you normally work. And many people remarked it was like a year that was all of Shabbos, and maybe that's changed a little bit, but to some degree it remained true the entire year. And a year that is entirely Shabbos, it means Shemita, is Shemita. This year, like Shemita, has been a great challenge. Shemita was a mitzvah that was an incredible challenge, that involved struggle, that involved questions, challenges to our faith. But hopefully this year has been a year that has been a Shabbat Lashem, a year where certain physical activities, pursuits have necessarily stopped, but hopefully that has given us time to pursue other spiritual or meaningful activities. And hopefully the challenges to our emunah have strengthened our emunah, our faith muscles. And hopefully we are closer to Hashem from the tzara, from the distress, from the davening. We are closer to Hashem because of this year. And hopefully, because of this Shnas Shemitah, which we didn't ask for, hopefully it has also been a Shabbat Lachem. Hopefully it has been a year that, although it has physically separated us, but has created a shared experience that we have all gone through together. In some ways it has minimized the differences between many of us. And even though perhaps it has highlighted certain inequalities between communities, but even that itself is bringing up the issues that demand attention, with the recognition that really we should all be on the same level playing field. And so hopefully, whether it is more locally within our community or more globally, hopefully this year has provided a time and a way to strengthen a certain sense of cohesion between people, that we're all in this together, that we can't do it alone, and it will strengthen the bonds between people. And we hope that just like the Shemitah of the Torah led to Hakel, we also hope similarly that this year we'll leave it strengthened. If we don't come out stronger, if we don't grow because of this challenge, that will be an even greater tragedy. Hopefully this year has strengthened us, and we'll emerge from it as people, as communities, as stronger, and we look forward to a Hakel that we can enjoy. We look forward to a time, an event, a place where we will be able to congregate, a Hakel of many people, and it'll be a congregation where we'll be celebrating to see people, to be with people, with our friends, with our community members, and hopefully be a Hakel where we'll emerge stronger spiritually, more connected to Hashem, ready to hear the words of the Torah as if we were hearing it from Har Sinai. Good Shabbos, everyone, and Shabbat Shalom.